Dobry wieczór wszystkim, how are you guys doing? I'm Mystical and today I'll be bringing you the latest in AR and VR news. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, this week has been a little bit slow, which is why we've had a lack of videos. We've actually also been working on upgrading the studio a little bit. However, for today, we've got our news video, and as usual, you've got chapters down below to skip to any specific part of the video that you might be most interested in. With that being said, let's get right into the video. First things first, previous video we talked a little bit about V66, which is the brand new PTC update rolling out to us on Quest. There's a ton of what we could call leaks inside this update, whether it's inside the code or little features here and there that aren't entirely finished and polished yet. Well, Upload VR has created a list of all of these that we will now talk about. In case you haven't seen the previous video, one of my favorite features inside this update are the Meta wrist buttons, which are essentially buttons that you can use instead of gestures on your wrists, letting other apps use those gestures that would otherwise be used by Meta gestures, and also removing false positives. More info on that right up here. We've also got news on a download folder, which we also talked about in the previous video. This seems to be less of a download folder and more of a download queue, where essentially it's just going to be a tab inside your library showing you currently downloading apps and letting you manage downloads, which is pretty cool, even though I would have much more preferred it to be an actual download folder where we maybe would have been able to install APKs. We also apparently get the introduction of the Meta AI Assistant. These are strings found in the code by Luna. New strings suggest that Meta AI, like on the Meta Ray-Ban smart glasses, may come to Quest headsets at some point. This would replace the current voice commands app and allow for functionality similar to Ray-Bans, with the AI assistant being able to see what you see via the pass-through cameras, provide information, and take actions. I can already see a ton of people in the comments section saying that this is the first thing they're going to turn off if it ever comes to happen. However, people like myself might actually find this pretty cool. I mean, I don't have the Meta Ray-Ban smart glasses. As a matter of fact, they're actually not available here in Poland, even though I would love to get them. I will find a way to get them one day, probably eBay. But the Meta AI assistant inside those glasses has been progressing at a pretty rapid rate. And recently we even talked about it receiving that update where it can see what you see and tell you how to fix it. So let's say you have a leaking faucet or something, you can ask it how to fix that, and hopefully it should be able to tell you exactly what to fix and where. That coming to Quest would essentially make it available to a whole ton more people. I can also imagine this would be a benefit to Meta themselves, as their training data would all of a sudden become much larger. We also appear to have sensor lock privacy feature, strings that reference a new privacy option called sensor lock, where the cameras and microphone will hard turn off whenever the headset is not being worn. When enabled, the user will instead need to put on their headset, press the power button, and wait for tracking to initialize. This is brilliant. As much as I'm not super paranoid about my headsets watching me and listening to me while I sleep, mainly because they're usually put away somewhere, this is always really nice for privacy, and this is something that a lot of people will turn on when it eventually does come. I feel like privacy with a company like Meta is always going to be a major concern for a lot of people, and them adding more options for users to be able to control these things that are, well, pretty privacy focused. I mean, microphones and cameras? Yeah, pretty privacy focused. Well, that would be really nice. I mean, on phones, Android phones specifically, we also have the feature inside developer options to press sensors off. This actually disables all your sensors on an Android phone and will not even let you launch the camera app. It will just immediately crash. So there you go. I bet you this feature is going to be something similar to this, except it's going to be automatic for when you put on and turn off the headset. No need to turn on or off a developer tile, especially since the headset needs those cameras to function. We apparently also have further work on codec avatars. In case you don't know, codec avatars are Meta's insanely accurate avatars, which, scan your face really, really well, kind of like Apple's avatars. V66 adds a string related to the calibration of these avatars. So that's going to be something really cool that we should eventually be able to scan our faces with our phones and throw them into VR for those that prefer realistic looking avatars. We've also got custom virtual keyboard sizing and positioning, which those strings also came in V66, with the ability to change and customize the size of the virtual keyboard. Curiously, Meta's travel mode introduction video shows a user with a free floating keyboard of custom size, a feature currently not yet active in that V66 update, but those strings are there. So that's something we can be looking forward to. Improved do not disturb, strings referencing the ability to set a custom do not disturb timer, and new UI banner when it's active. Multiple strings seem to suggest Meta is working on improvements to Bluetooth. One is a feature called Quick Pair, which allows for notifications when a new device is found. The other is the ability to pair controllers inside your headset instead of having to pair them inside the app, which is something we've had to do to date. Overall, some pretty cool features in here. Nothing really groundbreaking or anything like that. I mean, some people might call the Meta AI option pretty groundbreaking, but either way, really good quality of life improvements and something I will be looking forward to. Now, here is one for Discord fans. Meta apparently really wants Discord to run on the Quest. Reading from Road2VR, Meta CTO Andrew Bosworth says the company would love to have some sort of Discord integration on the Quest in the future, pending interest from Discord. That is, once again, highlighting the fact that Quest really needs Google Play. In a previous video, we actually talked about the fact that Bosworth confirmed the fact that they want the Play Store on the Quest. However, Google doesn't want to put it on the Quest, probably because, well, they have their own headset coming out now with Qualcomm and Samsung, and that would be direct competition. Even though it would be better for us and users, but I guess, you know, corporations, they don't really care. Having Google Play services running on the Quest directly would also allow for a multitude of apps that require those services in order to even launch. In Bosworth's latest Instagram AMA, he calls the issue one of those things where if you have friends and family at the Discord team, reach out and encourage them to consider it. Putting that into perspective, the $1 trillion market cap company hopes it can convince Discord by getting you to ask your cousin Ray Ray. Okay, this is actually really funny. Congratulations, Road2VR, you made me smile. It can convince Discord by getting you to ask your cousin Ray Ray who works there. I'm sure everyone out there is excited to do integrations with them. If their product leadership is getting reach outs from customers saying, hey, this thing is a thing that I want, hopefully that tips the scales in terms of supporting Quest, Bosworth says. But in the meantime, the platform is open and the invitation is open. We'd love to have them in. I think it's a great product and it would be a great fit for our two communities to come together. So once again, another platform that Meta does want on their platform. However, whether it will happen, we're not entirely certain. I mean, the Play Store isn't happening anytime soon, or at least this is what it looks like. On a completely different topic, Lakeside Peak is finally available on Quest. This was talked about, I believe, roughly 6 months ago, and it is their most advanced home environment yet. Reading from Mixed News, Lakeside Peak was announced as part of the V60 system update that was rolled out to Quest devices on December 2023. 6 months later, the latest home environment is finally reaching Quest users. They've taken a look at it on the Meta Quest 3 and recorded a video to give you their first impressions, and that video is playing above me right now. Lakeside Peak is probably the most graphically advanced home environment to date. You find yourself at a rest area in the middle of an idyllic mountain landscape, while the world in the distance is still static. You are surrounded by numerous animated elements, the tent flutters in the wind, smoke rises over the fireplace, and you can see a waterfall and the flow of a nearby river and lake. So in case you guys are into changing your home environment and we're looking for, well, something a bit more advanced, something a bit more graphically demanding, and something that looks a little bit more realistic, Lakeside Peak should now be available on your Quest 3. Another little something that has been available for a little bit now apparently, and I haven't noticed, YouTube VR has received an immersive MR update. Reading from Carlos Manuel on Twitter, I believe no one has talked about the new mixed reality update on the YouTube app on Quest 3. It actually looks really cool, and it's been something I've been wanting for a while. Instead of watching your videos in a dark void inside the YouTube app or in one of their custom environments, you can now watch it inside mixed reality. This is brilliant. It's just another little something that just adds to the experience, and it's another little something that I feel like should have been there for a while now, considering mixed reality has been a thing on Quest devices for a while now. Better late than never though, and I will most certainly be using this when watching YouTube on my Quest. Microsoft has apparently partnered with Quest in order to stream Windows apps to Quest with 3D extensions. This will allow Windows volumetric apps. Microsoft announced Windows Volumetric Apps, a new API for extending 3D elements to PC applications streamed to the Meta Quest in 3D space. We're deepening our partnership with Meta to make Windows a first-class experience on Quest devices, and Windows can take advantage of Quest's unique capabilities to extend Windows apps into the 3D space. The new API will act as an extension to Windows applications when streamed to the Meta Quest via Microsoft's upcoming Windows app for Quest. That's really cool. We're actually getting a Windows app for Quest, which will let you access either a physical PC on your local network or a Windows 365 cloud PC on virtual monitors inside your Meta Quest headset. Now that's interesting. I wonder whether the cloud PC is going to be something that you get as part, say, of a 365 package that you're already paying for monthly, or whether we're going to have to pay additionally for this monthly, or whether it will be free, even though that last one is probably not happening, let's be honest. But that is really cool. Being able to access your PCs locally is also pretty cool, even though that's not entirely new. And finally, Meta's LG partnership has apparently been delayed until 2027. LG denied reports from Korean news outlets claiming it cancelled its partnership with Meta, but says it's controlling its pace. Previous reports claimed LG is making a high-end Quest Pro successor aimed for 2025 at a price of about $2,000. In February, LG and Meta officially confirmed an XR strategic collaboration, including on next-gen XR device development, though neither company was more specific on what exactly this will entail. But now, Seoul Economic Daily reports the headset is delayed to 2027, and the Korean Economic Daily claimed LG has ended the partnership with Meta altogether. In a statement to another outlet, LG denied the partnership is cancelled, saying LG Electronics continues the XR partnership with Meta forged in February, but it's controlling its pace. Both Seoul Economic Daily and the Korea Economic Daily claim that there are significant differences of opinion between LG and Meta, and that LG believes there isn't enough synergy between the two companies. Both also claim LG is talking to other US tech companies, with Amazon being the top contender so far for a new partnership. An Amazon VR headset. I mean, nowhere does it say that this is going to be an Amazon VR or XR device, but that could be quite interesting. I mean, Amazon, you know, Kindle Fire, the Fire Stick, that would most certainly be quite interesting. Either way though, that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you all so much for joining me. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day or night, wherever you are in the world. If you like this one, please leave a like. If you disliked it, I guess the button works too, but let me know why down below. If you guys are not yet part of our community, check out our Discord and our Reddit down below. I want to see you posting your spicy memes. And thank you so much to all the Patreons supporting the channel. You guys are amazing. Seriously, much love. And thank you to anyone else supporting the channel in any way, shape, or form. Some people have been complaining about my outro because they don't seem to understand that it is my duty in order to ramp the outro as fast as I possibly can and make it completely illegible. Either way though, if you guys want me to have content coming up on the channel, make sure to smack that subscribe with your head, ding my bell, and see you again in the next video. Peace.
Okay, robimy teścik.
Tego punkt nie wygrał.
No jak to tak myślałem, to się zastanawiałem, coś nagrywasz chyba podłogę znowu. Ja chciałem widelec wyrzucić do kosza na śmieci.